SLR Turbo 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, we are back in the My Team career mode on our way to the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix, the quickest lap on the F1 calendar, on the current F1 calendar when it comes to time. Now guys, please, before you do anything else, drop a like down below on the video. It's only gonna take you a nifty 2 seconds, and I do appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. Now guys, heading in towards this episode, it's nearly time for us to rehire our second driver, Mr. Jack Aitken. For those of you guys that haven't watched previous episodes, I made a deal with Jack that said if he doesn't score any World Championship points by the end of the season, I will let him go. But he has got till the end of the season, and he is basically banked with us until the end of the season, so there's no point in me already looking at other drivers. I at least want to give Mr. Aitken, well, Mr. Jack Aitken, I'm just going to say Aitken, guys. I at least want to give him a fair shot at earning his spot in its turbo boosted racing. So guys, without further ado, let's quickly, you guys see we've got a lot of upgrades in the pipeline there. It's time to re-sign a sponsor. We've still got Atlantic and Avolo. Avolo expires in 7 days, but the new sponsor we are going to go for is Avinci. We only have to score 3 Constructors' Championship points during a race weekend, which I honestly feel is not too hard to do. We want to get the car on the points, and that is what we should be aiming for. You guys can see financially wise, we are looking very strong, but obviously I'm saving up to rehire Mr. Aitken. So why do I keep saying Mr. Aitken? I'm saving up to rehire Jack, and here you guys can see me customizing the car once again with our new sponsors. With our new sponsor, I nearly said Avinci. But yes, you guys can see it's on the front wing, and I think it's also on the engine cover, just right alongside the massive air intake at the top of the car. You guys can see there, what is it? HV. It's a weird name, but in any case, and also by the beginning of the next episode, we're obviously gonna sign a new sponsor instead of Avolo, guys, because like I said, the contract expires in 7 days. Guys, please ignore Carl there in the bottom of the screen. I completely just ignored that because he doesn't say anything important. Guys, heading towards this weekend, I'm gonna go for the softer tire compound strategy because Austria is not a highway circuit and the hards are pathetic around here. So, I'm looking very much forward to this weekend, and I really think it's gonna be a good one. I honestly think it's gonna be a good one. So, what I also wanted to tell you guys quickly is that we've actually got a little bit of rain expected at the end of the Grand Prix. That's going to be very interesting. But we are looking a bit better in the performance chart. As you guys are going to see in just a nifty second, we've still got 3 upgrades in the pipeline, by the way. We are still the second worst team on the grid according to paper, but if you guys look at our results, clearly that is not the issue. The first place we had in Canada, if you guys haven't watched that episode, please go watch that. That was down to pure luck. It wasn't on pace, I feel. But in any case, guys, Mercedes leading the way. Red Bull and Ferrari are neck and neck for second place in the standings. Racing Point P4. Then you've got Renault, Alfa Romeo, McLaren, Alpha Tauri, and Haas, ourselves as well, fighting over P5 till P10, and then you've still got Williams bringing up the rear end of the field. So guys, it's going to be a very intense episode. I think with Austria already being a very short lap, it's going to be very closely contested for those final points positions, and I think we're going to have a flashback to reality. So as you guys can see, a real doom and gloomy Red Bull Ring here, but I'm sure the sun is gonna show itself later on in the session. We come around the final corner for the end of our first run in Q1, guys, and we go only P21.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Okay, guys, that's a very big concern.
Lap is a 1:4.4.
Okay, Jeff, can you keep quiet now? Thank you. Guys, P21? That's bad. Like, that's really bad. Is our pace that bad around the Red Bull Ring? That is... Oh, boy.
321.9 kilometers per hour. All set. Everyone clear? Car to track.
Guys, as we head out for our final lap in Q1, we have to pull out a blisteringly quick lap time here. Even Aitken is beating us. He's in P18. So guys, through the first corner, clip the curb on the inside, mount the curb on the outside, get the power down as quickly as possible. Heading up the hill, just floor the car all the way up here, 320 kilometers an hour as we hit the curb. Well, we go alongside the curb on the outside. We take a wide line into this hairpin, be easy on the power on the way out, open up DRS, heading downhill now once again into a very, very tricky braking spot in towards a hairpin. Be careful with your braking heading in towards this corner. It can really bite back. You guys can see I've struggled with the understeer as the car tries just to go straight, but I forced the car inwards by down gearing into the first of the two left-handers in the middle sector. Fifth gear, try to stay away of that inside curve. It really easily spins you into this next left-hander on the power halfway through the corner. Just carry the car's speed through there. Hang on for dear life because the rear end will try and step out on you. As we head towards the final two corners, so easily to lose the rear end here, but just keep your foot in there. Fourth gear through the final corner, mount the curb on the outside, little bit of oversteer, open up DRS, and it's going to be P! Guys, I was so excited. I literally just bumped my headset off my head. That's stupid. But we are out in Q1. We are out. Guys, this is going to be a hard race. Hopefully the rain at the end is a little bit of a blessing in disguise, but I really do highly doubt that. We are still winning the rivalry against Ricardo, luckily. But this is definitely going to be a hard race. P18 on the grid. After I completely hit my headset off my head. I don't know how I actually hit myself on the head. That is something that I need to inspect. But in any case, guys, it's time for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Welcome to the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Can we talk about Mercedes? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Albon, Ricciardo, Perez, Sainz and Lance Stroll, Ocon, Raikkonen, Lando Norris and Gasly, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Daniel Kvyat and Parker, Aitken, Russell, Latifi and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Trying not to hit my headset off of my head, guys. It is time for the Austrian Grand Prix. Guys, I'm going to go for a risky one. I'm going to start on the mediums, go to the softs. If the rain is going to hit soon, I will pit earlier for the softs to try and make up positions. But we have to play with it a bit. But guys, without any further ado, it's time for where all the Dutch fans go crazy for Max Verstappen. It's time for the Austrian GP. You know the rule. Jam with me on the formation lap. us ready for the Austrian Grand Prix as we head to 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go for the Austrian Grand Prix. Mercedes front row lockout between Bottas and Hamilton. Into the first corner, Hamilton has got the launch. It's 5 cars in a row there for the 2 Mercedes Ferraris and one of the Red Bulls. Around the outside comes the Renault of my rival, Daniel Ricciardo on Sebastian Vettel. You've also got Esteban Ocon going side by side with the Red Bull of, I think, Max Verstappen. I know one of the other Red Bulls had a penalty, but that is not the best start for the Red Bull boys. You guys can see it's single file until we get to 4th place, the battle for 4th place, as it is Hamilton leading the way from Bottas P2, Leclerc P3. Ricciardo wants to get that Renault up into P4, but will Sebastian Vettel allow that? Up the inside into the hairpin. Here's Vettel against Ricciardo. Vettel keeps it to the inside. He gives Ricciardo a tiny bit of a squeeze, and that is Vettel who keeps his P4, trying to stick now with the leaders. Hamilton had a fantastic first lap there, guys, and if he actually had a fantastic launch off the line, Valtteri could do nothing about Lewis. So Lewis is leading the way as we head towards the end of the first lap of this Austrian GP around the Red Bull Ring. Final corner, here comes Hamilton to cross the line to also take fastest lap because the Grand Prix only started now. But now we jump back to my POV for my start of the GP, and as you guys see, medium tires on the car, a little bit squirrely on the rear end as we get the power down. We go, oh wow, we really ran into the rear end of the AlphaTauri. It's 4 wide through the first corner. How did we make that stick? We left more than enough space there, but that was a bit risky, guys. I have to be honest, I was a little bit late on the brakes. You guys see, I nearly ran into the back of the AlphaTauri. Then it's 4 wide between myself, the Haas of Grosjean, if I'm not mistaken, the AlphaTauri of Gasly, and my teammates on the outside. So those 2 cars were in and it's turbo boosted racing sandwich there as we go for a massive dive up the inside as all the cars concertina up at the hairpin. Well, it's not really a hairpin, but at the 3rd corner, and now it's a drag race between myself and Antonio Giovinazzi in that very OP Ferrari powered Alfa Romeo. Into the hairpin corner, we are tight, we hug the inside, the grip is there, and we get the power down. We are up into P13. That was a fantastic start from us, guys. Exactly what we needed to settle into this Grand Prix. I feel we do have the pace on the mediums to just maintain that gap. I might be wrong, but we will have to see. My pace around Austria is usually good if I can actually keep it on track. This is one of the tracks where I struggle the most with consistency, as you guys saw in this past weekend's SLR League race. But in any case, we head towards the end of the first lap, guys, and it's actually Albon who's the leading Red Bull and Verstappen who's the one that started a bit back, I'm sure due to some penalties. You guys can see I am still ahead of the 2 Alfa Romeos. It seems like Kimi Raikkonen has gotten ahead of his teammate Giovinazzi. We will see now as we are on board with one of the Alfa Romeos. And it is Raikkonen who has jumped his teammate Giovinazzi. And into the first corner, Kimi goes for the move on the inside. I let Kimi go because this now, I actually thought that I was going to get DRS detection, but it turns out that Kimi got it. So at this stage, you guys can see I'm literally pushing Kimi. I didn't think I was that close to Kimi, so that was a bit of a bump draft. But we go around the outside of the flying fin. I'm sure Kimi will be on the radio complaining towards his team so that they can get the stewards involved. I did get a slap on the wrist. I did get a warning for that, guys, but I honestly didn't know I was going to close up onto Kimi that quickly with no DRS by just using overtake. So that was a little bit of a big one. Oh, and my rival Ricciardo is going slowly. Oh, Albon hit the back of Ricciardo. Oh, Red Bull's home GP is turning into an absolute what can we say? It's turning into an absolutely monster ugly Grand Prix. That's a very bad comparison to make, but you know what? We're gonna go for it. So Albon has got a problem. Well, now he's got a broken front wing, and Verstappen is in no man's land, basically. So there's a lot that Red Bull need to do in this GP. Hamilton is still leading the way, but he's not breaking away from his teammate Bottas and Leclerc. You can see there goes Albon holding up Lance Stroll as he heads into the pit lane. That's one free position for myself as well, because Albon is gonna go smack bang to the back of the grid. And thanks to Albon holding up a lot of these cars, it has brought myself, the 2 Alfa Romeos and the AlphaTauri there in the background back into this fight. This is now for P11, well, for P10, we are right behind Lance Stroll. It's the start of lap 5. Overtake engaged, DRS open, I disengage overtake heading up the hill, not to use too much of my energy. Light onto the brake, Stroll is caught napping, and that is us up into the points. P10 behind the 2 McLaren boys. What a fantastic move on Lance Stroll there. That is exactly what we needed. We rewind back quickly, guys, as the two Mercedes also went side by side. Bottas v Hamilton for the lead of the Austrian GP. Here we go, Hamilton on the outside, Bottas on the inside, and it seems like it's a done move, but Hamilton hangs it around the outside. Bottas takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Fantastic racing there from the Finn. Now we jump on board with Charles Leclerc as Bottas has actually started to break away from Hamilton. Guys, maybe Hamilton's got a problem. Or he's just slow. He's not enjoying those medium tires, and Leclerc is actually on the softs, but Bottas is also on the mediums. So, you know, I think actually we still have the chance of rain coming. I actually think Leclerc is on a more optimal strategy than the two Mercedes, but we'll have to see if Leclerc can catch up to the rear end of Bottas now that he is in P2. Now we look towards the two McLaren boys, Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, fighting right ahead of me. Well, not right ahead of me, but a little bit ahead of me. They did break away a bit, guys, but Norris gets up the inside of his teammate, and that is Norris' upper position. Can Sainz mount another attack to get that position back from his teammate? We will have to see, and we will also have to see if Zach Brown says that they are allowed to race. Now we jump on board with my teammate in career mode, Sebastian Vettel, as he dives it into the pit lane. He didn't have the best start, battling a lot with Ricciardo on the start phase. Vettel goes onto the hard tires. Okay, that's interesting. So clearly the Ferrari does not have the pace does not have the tire. Away! Hamilton runs into the back of Charles Leclerc. Charles is heading in towards the pit lane. That might have just ruined Lewis Hamilton's race, guys. He will be forced to pit the end of the next lap due to replace that front wing. Oh my goodness, and Leclerc did nothing wrong there. Hamilton just should have taken a wide line through that corner. That is completely Hamilton's fault. So guys, basically, oh wow, Hamilton has just made this a much harder afternoon for himself. But oh, we'll see what happens, guys. Now we go on board with Kimi Räikkönen, the man who was also in the fight with me a little bit. He is just behind Lance Stroll. The same as Vettel, Kimi goes onto the hard tires. We now jump all the way onto lap 14. I actually didn't keep an eye on Leclerc if he went to hards or mediums. We'll get an eye back on that in just a second. Hamilton comes into the pit lane. What is Hamilton going to strap onto his cars? Verstappen is also in, with Sergio Perez following close behind. Hamilton seems is going onto the hard tires. Yes, Hamilton's onto the hards. He's fourth onto the hards thanks to this much earlier pit stop than he would have wanted. We now look at Sebastian Vettel, who's right behind Lance Stroll, trying to get the move done here. Oh no, this is actually Leclerc. Sorry guys, that is Leclerc, and he has opted for the hard tires. You guys can see just ahead, it is myself who is still yet to come into the pit lane because I'm running the same strategy as Valtteri and Lewis. I just don't have a broken front wing. So I'm still extending this medium stint gap because at this stage, Jeff said nothing over the radio about the rain hitting soon. And as you guys can see, it is still clear skies above. Ooh, that's a little bit of a late lock up there for Ocon as he heads into the pit lane. A little bit late onto the brakes there, my friend. But Ocon heads into the pit lane for Renault. Softs off, mediums on. You guys can see if you can stretch those softs, you can finish the race on the mediums. But the softs, when they're over 40% here around Austria, they really do suffer with a lack of pace. We now jump on board with Verstappen. Actually, we were on board with Verstappen. Well, we were looking at Verstappen and Vettel. But here you guys can see, this is now Charles Leclerc. I'm going for the move on me, guys. And obviously, you guys know, I was just going to let Leclerc pass. I'm not in the race with Leclerc. My tongue is useless today. I am not in this race with Leclerc. I was just going to poach DRS all the way until this had to happen, guys. Into the pit lane. It's time to strap on the soft tires, not the hards. Blech. Hards are poo-poo. They are absolute poo-poo. Doo-doo. No hearts for Austria. We are going from the mediums to the softs, guys. And now we will see where we come out of the pit lane. Red light on, green light on. Let's go. Okie dokie. 2-second pit stop. Thanks, boys.
Okay, you only have to stop once now. One stop left.
Thank you, Jeff. We do not have one stop left. We are taking these tires towards the end of the Grand Prix. Guys, I know it's still halfway to go. Trust me, these softs can do it with the lighter amount of fuel. We jump on just a few laps later, guys. This is now Bottas on the same strategy as myself. Mediums to soft. And guys, when I came into the pit lane, that was the first time that Jeff said we can expect rain. So I went onto the softs so that I can actually benefit from them the most. As you guys see, I'm going side by side with Carlos Sainz. into the second sector. We are up the inside. Do we have the grip? Yes, we do. And we are up the inside of the Spaniard. What a move there as Bottas came into the pit lane. But guys, let's run through the top 10. Valtteri Bottas is leading the way for Mercedes, with Charles Leclerc, I'm sure, still in P2. Yes, there is the red Maranello Ferrari in P2 trying to chase down Bottas. But on hard tires versus softs, not going to get it done. Verstappen has fought himself all the way back up into P3. Vettel is now in P4. Perez P5. Hamilton and Ocon are battling for P6 and 7 in this Grand Prix. And I'm sure you guys saw this little clip in my teaser. So here we go, side by side. Hamilton on the inside, Ocon on the outside. Will Hamilton make the move? Stick, it's mediums versus softs. So Ocon will have the grip advantage. He also has DRS now. So Hamilton will probably just be frustrated inside the cockpit. But Ocon stays in P6 and Hamilton is now still in P7. You've got Lando Norris in P8. And then you've got myself in P9, tracing him down with Carlos Sainz in the second McLaren, rounding out the top 10. There's still a lot of action that can happen in this race, guys. Let's head on board with Lewis Hamilton. I think the time has come to say goodbye to the Renault of Esteban Ocon up the inside of the hairpin. He actually forces Ocon a lot to the outside. A little bit of a lock-up towards Hamilton that makes Ocon revert his steering a bit. But that is now Hamilton up into P6 of the Austrian Grand Prix. And he is now going to try and chase down Sergio Perez. We jump all the way to lap 26, and you guys can see I'm very close to Norris and to Ocon now. Norris was catching Ocon whilst I was catching him. So you guys can see now, overtake engaged, DRS is open. Norris forces us to go to the outside. We do have the grip advantage, a little bit of tire banging, but around the outside of the Englishman, and we are now in P8 chasing down the Renault of Esteban Ocon. We jump back on board just about 1 or 2 laps later, guys, and you guys can see I'm so close to Esteban. I'm going to go for a very, very wide line through this hairpin to straighten up the car as quickly as possible, punch the overtake button, punch the rich mixture, punch the DRS, and here we go on the Renault man who just got overtaken by Lewis Hamilton a few laps ago. Up the inside, it's a Ricciardo type dive. We go up the inside of the Renault, and that is us up into P7. What a race. And as you guys can see, we fast forward just a few laps later, and out of nowhere, the clouds have started to settle in. It is very doom and gloomy here, just like it was in qualifying. And now you guys can see Hamilton is on the rear of Sergio Perez. He goes up the inside. Will it be an easy move for P5? If Perez has anything to say about it, it will not be. Here we go, Perez will have DRS. He's also got a Mercedes power unit, but Hamilton just shoves that Mercedes right in front of Perez. And as you guys see, we head on to the final few laps of the Grand Prix, and the rain has started to come down. Who is going to take the gamble and go into the pit lane for the intermediate tires? Guys, the rain came down quickly. The track was going to be kind of non-slickable. The slicks were not going to work around here within about 2 to 3 laps. And the thing is, there was only a few laps to go, guys. I think this was lap 32 of 36, to be quite honest with you. And it was very late, but guys, the call had to be made. It had to be made, and this is where I decided to go for the gamble of a lifetime. Verstappen is still in P3 trying to chase down Leclerc. He is not succeeding in that. Vettel P4, Hamilton P5, Perez P6. And then from P7, guys, sorry for the jump there in the replay, guys. But you guys can see I was already struggling just to keep the car within the pit lane, with the pit entry lines. So I knew the rain was just going to make this a terrible time for the rest of the grid. And I was the only one to dive it in on this lap to fit a set of intermediate tires. But guys, for the rest of this Grand Prix, we will be by far the quickest car on track, because the intermediates don't just suffer, the slick tires don't just suffer from minimal grip, they suffer from temperature drop as well. As soon as the rain comes down, the slicks drop temperature so badly, at anything lower than 90, they are slippy and slidey. So you guys can see I go side by side with Alex Albon as we head up the hill into the corner. You guys can see there is just no car. Okay, well, actually, he was good into the corner there, but through the corner, you guys can see the grip is unmatched. I just bolt away. I'm already onto the back of Pierre Gasly. We go around the outside. Finally, he gets the grip down. You guys can see there's already a lot of spray being kicked up. The rain is coming down hard and quickly. And a little bit of touch between myself and Gasly, but that's just because he couldn't get the car stopped in time. We go onto the inside of the little embankment. There we go, up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen. And now, guys, this is the group that we have to chase down. Ocon, Norris, Sainz. But now, here's the catch in the whole story. This is the start of the final lap of the Austrian Grand Prix. It is nail-biting times now, and you guys can see Bottas is going so slowly because there is just no grip available whatsoever on the track now. I can understand why they didn't come into the pit lane, guys. They could have lost a lot of time, but still, it's such a risky strategy because if you lose control of the car, you have got nothing left. We only start the final lap now, and now you guys can see I'm on my way towards Lance Stroll, and I'm catching him so quickly. I'm gonna blast all my remaining fuel and all my remaining ERS because I need to get onto the back of the two McLarens, and you guys can see the gap is coming down corner by corner. You guys can see I'm struggling to get the grip down, but that's how easy it is when you're on slick tires on a wet track. We go right around the outside of Lance Stroll, and we've got 2 sectors to go to try and catch Ocon, Norris, and Sainz. Here we go. It's easy on the way out. I can still not play with the limits in the wet weather, guys. It's still wet weather. But me, compared to the other guys, it's like being in a Formula 1 car towards a Formula 2 car. Here we go. Through the next corner. Hug the inside. Come on. Guys, it's down to 4.8, 4.6, 4.5, 4.4. Ooh, you guys can see I'm pushing really hard. But I think it's too little, too late. Through the final corner, no! Oh my goodness, we just lost P7 due to gambling. But guys, what an Austrian Grand Prix. As we take P10, it's at least 1 point.
Time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
I have to give it to Parker. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula 1.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing. Interesting result today. Would you say that you're happy with your performance? Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today? Great. Well, that's everything.
Guys, what a dramatic ending to the Austrian Grand Prix. I mean, oh my goodness, rain in the final 4 laps, and I was the only car to gamble with the intermediate tires. I know you guys are going to be saying, you threw away a P7. I get that. But oh my goodness, I had to go for it, guys, because there was the potential of getting it back. But I was not looking forward to struggling for 3 laps on ice-cold slick tires. And remember, guys, I was on the softs, so my wear at that stage of the GP at the end would have been much worse than the guys behind me, and that would have also played a massive factor. It was a crazy Austrian GP, And you guys see now we have the option to renew the sponsor, but we will be doing that the next episode, so you guys have something to look forward to. What sexy logo you're gonna put on our very sexy car. But guys, oh my goodness, I can't help but be a little bit disappointed. Actually, it seems like I'm gonna show you guys the sponsor renewal now. We go for Avanza. Okay guys, sorry, it should have been the next episode. It's clear that I'm gonna show you guys this episode. You guys see, that's how the car looks now. I like the big red logos. I don't know why, it actually stands out a bit more. It looks like there's more going on with the car, doesn't look so boring. And also guys, it is time to renew our second driver, Mr. Jack Aitken. You guys can see here, ooh.
Here, you can make an offer to your driver. The more you offer, the greater the chance of them agreeing to it. But be careful not to insult drivers though. If you do, they might refuse to deal with you anymore in this negotiation period.
Guys, I almost spoke over Carl, but you guys can see we're going to go for the medium risk. We're going to give him what he's earned so far, his 2.5 million, and we're going to take it from here. Yeah, I'm sure Jack is going to accept. Yes, he accepts the offering, and he has signed till the end of the season. Luckily, me and Jack are on the same page. I'm sure he can get at least one championship point before the end of the season, and if he cannot, then I've got a very good reason to kick him from the team. But guys, that has been this crazy episode. You guys can see we've got 3.95 million. I'm definitely thinking of upgrading a facility. I don't know which facility just yet, but you guys will definitely see that in the next episode. You guys see we are still 6th in the Drivers' Championship, splitting the two Red Bulls quite significantly. But as you guys saw this episode, we do not have the killer pace that we did in the first half of, well, the first third of the season, and I think from now on inwards we're gonna have some very harsh reality checks, because guys, the performance chart, even though it doesn't tell the whole story, we are still, according to the chart, the second slowest car. And if you guys look at Aitken's performances compared to mine, I'm just overdriving the car. Aitken is showing exactly where the car is, and we still have to take that into consideration. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. We still need to upgrade the car. We need to upgrade our facilities. There's still a long road ahead before we will be able to touch the top spot of Formula One. We've had a taste of having a race victory so far, but like I said, there's still a long way to go, and I think the proper time to think about a world championship would only be at the for season 3. Season 2 is going to be the midfield battle to get to the front. But guys, that has been this episode. Thank you so much for watching. You are so nice. You're so nice. I like you. I like you a lot. Guys, please drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you a nifty 2 seconds. Thank you very much for doing that. I do appreciate it. Guys, please, links are in the description down below. Follow me on social media. Share this video with your friends. Tag me in the post or the story, and I will give you a shout out in a future video. And guys, finally, it is a crazy time on YouTube with this whole pandemic around the world. Everybody is sitting at home watching YouTube. So why don't you just hit that subscribe down below? Don't forget to ding that bell to never miss an awesome video or stream here on TurboFox RacerZ. Especially if you are new, definitely if you are new, hit the subscribe down below. You guys are an awesome audience. I love you guys. You guys are fantastic. I'll see y'all for the next episode. Stay hyped, be wise and sanitize, and I'll see y'all next time. Cheers!